afternoon, everyone, and welcome once again to our Special Needs Hangout. I am your host, as usual, Sylvia Mochabo from Andy Speaks for Special Needs Persons, which is a rights-based organization that champions for inclusion and mainstreaming of persons with neurodevelopmental disabilities as the key focus. And we've been having this Special Needs Hangout for the past how many months? Since April, so that we can walk this journey together, support each other, advise, learn from each other, and gain skills of how to get through these tough sessions. I know we've had NeuroDigest on Science TV before, and we are continuing it because NeuroDigest under our programs is the section where we have awareness and education programs. So karibuni everyone, and today, this month, on the 6th was World CP Day, and we're honored to be having Maria for today to help us get to understand, encourage, and give someone, you know, most of us parents, I will not lie to you, sometimes we feel like it's the end of the world. So Maria, it's an honor to have you here today, and we would like at least for you to be able to shed some light, like how do you do it? How do you start? So just a tidbit of your history, but first you'll introduce yourself so that we can take it from there. So back to you, Maria. So tell us, what's your name, all the titles you have, so that at least we know who we are dealing with. So Maria, tell me.
So, it's Sylvia. It's a pleasure to be in this space, the amazing
Thank you.
Because you just go and go. So my name is Moraa. Advocate for people with different abilities. I am the founder of Njeri Foundation, which NGO advances the lives of people with disabilities. I am for science, issues with disability. I am so, but one thing I like saying is I'm the necessary noise maker. Because I was born with a cerebral palsy, I felt I had a purpose to speak up and address challenges that people with cerebral palsy face.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Yes, continue, Maria.
yeah, basically that's me. Also, cerebral palsy does not define me. I like saying it is part of who I am. It is one of my many characteristics. So it doesn't define me, but what defines me is what I choose to become. Cerebral palsy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. I like giving you time, because me, I know I talk too much and too fast, so I was trying to allow time so that at least we can hear you clearly, and I can see also our internet is acting up. But yeah, at least I got a good hang of the intro. So tell me, how was it growing up? Like, how did your mom find out? How did she react, or how does she tell you how it was? And what challenges were there when you were growing up?
Well, for me, when I was born, my mother said she had a few complications, and the nurses and the doctors were very unresponsive to what she was saying. But then I was already exhausted and I didn't cry and I didn't breathe. And then the doctors put me in an incubator for weeks. And then finally they told my mom, you have a beautiful baby girl, but she has acquired some brain damage. And my mom keeps saying, I was her first child, and also she was a first parent, a first time parent, so she did not understand what was going on. So when she was so a baby to go home, she was lucky enough to find a pediatrician who was more aware about cerebral palsy, and he's the one who showed her the journey to follow and the process to go. So in Kenya, I feel just like in my case, a lot of children with cerebral palsy because of medical negligence, and it plays such a part. It's so frustrating to think that one mistake from the doctors or the nurses or one wrong move and every time a child's life around and actually can change the whole family um, dynamic. So after that, we went through the process of going through therapy. I started therapy when I was 6 months old, and up to now, I'm still doing therapy. But, and of course, a lot of medical interventions. I remember I had so many surgeries, and I was always in and out of the hospital when I was younger, and I was always protected by my parents because I was they say vulnerable. I was so weak and anything could have happened. But one thing I admire about my journey when I was little was how my parents went through it because they became aware of cerebral palsy and then they accepted me. And now when I'm older, I'm realizing how hard that must have been just accepting the child as a lifelong impairment. That's one thing that really changed my life because when I accepted, I also got to accept. So, and also other people got to accept. So, how parents treat and think and behave and take their children to be. That's how society looks and also takes their child to be. So I remember when I was 4 when I started walking, I was 4 years and I kept on falling everywhere. So my dad just said, we need to get her a helmet because she was falling all the time. And also, I was falling all the time, meant I was being allowed to play. I was being allowed to get away from my parents' bubble. I was being allowed to play with other children and being allowed to go outside. And that was also a key aspect of my life that I was never sure I was different. I was sure, okay, you want to go and play, go play. You want to go and do this, go and do this. But of course, I needed to be extra careful and extra cautious. I needed to have someone like my auntie or my sister all the time. So those are two very important things I think my parents did, and I think all parents should do is be aware and of course try and get that early intervention as early as possible, whether it's seeing specialists or going for therapy. Don't miss out on the early intervention, and also acceptance is a big deal, not only for yourself but also for your child, because the way you perceive your child to be will be ultimately the way the society will be.
Bingo. All right. So at least I like the way you've shared how growing up was for you, and now the things that your parents did. Because yeah, I do concur. Acceptance, exposure, and early intervention are key to a child living their full life, right? And so, how did you said you're the firstborn? How many other siblings do you have?
I have one more sibling, and we are 6 years apart.
So yeah, I can imagine it takes a while before you get the courage to give birth again. And how has it been? How has it been now when it comes to relation with other children and the society? How did the society embrace you during these early years of growth? Let's say up until you were a teenager, and then now you'll tell us phase two of like how teenage life was like. But first, I'm usually very curious because my kids are around that space, and I'm like, how do they have fit in with these other children? Is there something that they go through that I don't know? So how normally, how is it? How does the society embrace it?
Thanks. So, when I was younger, it was much more easier, I guess, because I didn't understand myself so much. I didn't understand cerebral palsy, and other children also didn't understand cerebral palsy. They thought you look different or you talk different, but if you can play or eat better snacks than them, yeah, good for you. So I feel having a different ability when you are younger is easier than when you get to preteen and teenage years, because that's when you get your awareness, so you start understanding yourself. And I remember one day, I think we had gone to church with my mom, and for me, people used to laugh and stare, but like it was no big deal.
Mm.
Uh, never hit home, you know, why people are staring at me. And I was like, oh, that's yeah, and I thought, okay, then maybe I'm different. And then I was like, okay, that's why people ask why I talk like that. Because I remember my mom, what my mom did, she gave me answers to every question. So she told me, if people ask you why you talking like that, tell them those are like that. And people tell you why they're like talking like that, you tell them that's how you were born. So I feel she prepared me, even though I didn't know what she was preparing me for. So I feel she gave me the answers, or she gave me the expectations of what other people would ask me. Um, but also the challenge came in when I was, I think, 13 or 14, and I couldn't do the same things other people were doing, and I couldn't go to the fair, I could do the normal things people were doing. And so now they would really tease me and really get into it. And that's the only time I think in my life I had to question my cerebral palsy, and I had to go back and ask my mom, okay, why me? Because I want to play the piano and I can't. I want to be in the Scouts team and I can't. I want to play with my friends and I can't. And so I went and I asked my mom, okay, mom, why me? Why me? Why do I have cerebral palsy? Why not someone else? You know? And then one thing she said, she was like, okay, if not you, who else? Who else would have had it? You know? And I feel that allowed me even to be more comfortable in who I am. So whatever the other children were saying about me, I would always come back and tell my mama, Tina, they say this and this and this, they say you can do anything and they call me names, but I was always secure in what my mom says and what the people close to me say. And so I feel even as I was navigating school and teenage, having that foundation was very important for me, and even for me to understand myself better. And that foundation comes from the people who are immediately close to my life. And that made things easier because now I had an answer to everything. And I was aware that okay, I have cerebral palsy, but it doesn't make me any difference. It doesn't make me any less. okay, I can't play how you're playing, so I pick another game to play. So I feel the foundation mothers give, and Sylvia did a fantastic job with the boys because they're so confident in who they are, and the foundation you give them is the building block for their life.
Would you say, is there, because I'm just trying to think the way you're saying, the way it's tough and you got to the point you're asking why you at a certain point in life. I'm just trying to wonder and to just phrase, is there anything someone that has ever said that you doubted yourself or that made you feel like someone has just destroyed you? Is there like a statement like someone did? Because for me as a parent, I remember what was most painful that my child went through. But you see, for them, the emotions, for autistic, sometimes those emotions are not quite there. So, like, is there anyone who's ever tried to put you down that really got to you?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Right.
And I remember it was so stupid. But I remember one teacher, and I remember I had just gotten to know about cerebral palsy. I think I was 12. I had just gotten to know the definition of cerebral palsy, and then I remember one teacher, we went for PE, and we were seated in a circle, and the other kids asked him what's wrong with him. And I don't make that statement on its own, what's wrong with her. And so I was so ready to tell them, I have cerebral palsy, it's a condition, all that. So I was so ready to tell them. And then all of a sudden, you said, I think someone named Robo. And I was like, and but then you don't know what he's talking about. So they to me because I just kept quiet, and then I thought, maybe he's right. But yeah, I think that one touched me the most because how do you think someone is in front of them? Um, but of course, there have been many other like bad words thrown at me, but I think that one was a loss because he was telling my fellow my fellow like students, and yeah, it wasn't so.
Yeah, I can imagine that must have been tough. So, you were in a regular school, an integrated school, or what school was it?
So in primary, I was in a typical school, and then I later on joined KCCL for my high school. Primary was chaotic, because of our Kenyan system, and they are so based on performance, how you perform, how you do, the mean score, and I was always that doctor dropping the mean stuff. So my teacher wanted me in the class. So there was that, and then the class I landed into, the teacher did not understand cerebral palsy and did not understand she's slow, she takes time before understanding the concept. She can write very fast. She can do PE very well. So I remember I used to be punished for funny things. And one memory I have um, of school was, you know how we used uh, this books, this set book,
Yes.
and we would read from the first one at the end, and everyone would read a paragraph of the book, and we'd all read. And I remember the teacher used to pass me. and just move on to the next person. And I wanted to read. I wanted to read the sixth book aloud, even though I was slow and I would take more time and I would take more stress, but I wanted to read. But I remember every aspect into it. So yeah, that was painful. So I feel in primary school it would have been easier if the teachers understood cerebral palsy. They understood they have me in their class, and they were more considerate in making that space for me. Um, so I feel that was amazing. That, and something else, Sylvia, is I remember there was one teacher till now, and his name was George. George understood me. And what I noticed when I look back, I noticed you can I actually felt the difference in how the students treated me in his class compared to how the students treated me in this other class. So if I were to make a mistake in these other classes, they would laugh at me. But in his class, no one would mess with me. So I felt that was also a big difference in how a teacher introduces to the different ability matters a lot in how the other students see this child with a different ability.
So teachers also, and people need to mind their words very, very much. So even the teacher, because you can imagine when a teacher says something like that, and he's the teacher, so the rest of the children, like the one who said about being cursed, that means it's something that really, like those kids grew up thinking like anyone with CP is, so yeah, that can be quite heartbreaking. And I believe molding, so our teachers need to be sensitized. That's what you're saying. Yeah, they need to be also remember that you have feelings, and whatever is said and how they treat you is how the other students are going to treat you. The same attitude they give is the same attitude that everyone else is going to give you. So this Teacher Nice, let's call him Teacher Nice, was that in primary school or in high school?
That was in primary school.
Wow.
And he took me for 2 classes and followed up with me in class 8, because now we were all wondering how we do class 8.
I know everyone wonders, how did you do? That was actually my next question. So how was it class 8 and exams and expectations, now that you've said you were being looked at as that student who drops our mean score in school? So how was it for you at that time?
And I think that's the interesting thing about today, Sylvia, is the expectations people put on it don't stick.
Mm-hmm.
They don't stick,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel no one expects me to get to class 8. And so they didn't even have a strategic plan for it. So I was just moving from one stream to the other, and they were just trying to see where I fit best. And what's unfortunate is there were no reasonable accommodation in many ways. And like doing a composition and intern, I would write half a page in the time given, and I would get half a page, and though I had given it my best, I feel there was no like shifting from the way things were done to the way things were supposed to be done. So the only thing that helped was a multiple choice through math and English and Swahili and the ABCD. That made things a bit easier for me. But also another thing I'd like to mention, Sylvia, is I remember when I was doing my KCP and my sister, now we knew I could not do without reasonable accommodation, extra time, extra like materials and all that. So my mom insisted, and she went to the national examinations board, and she followed up on the reasonable accommodation, and we actually got them. So I had an extra invigilator to myself. I was allowed to be in an extra room from the others. I was allowed extra time and extra materials. The funny thing was, even with all of this, the school on the first day of KCP, the school assumed the reasonable accommodation, and I was put in the same room as others. I had an invigilator, but she was seated a bit far from me, and I did get extra time, but it was in between. For example, when the other students are done and I'm not done, they leave. I would be distracted. So it didn't really work out on the first day. So whenever I went to my lab and we went to school with her the following day, and she insisted you have to give her the things she needs to be able to do the exam. So, two things that stood out for me with that experience is if you don't ask for reasonable accommodations, they will assume. They will even pretend they have never heard about them and they won't give you what you need to perform as best as others. And also, I feel we so many times we allow people to get away with excuses in many ways because in primary school, I feel we are too busy surviving and we are too busy surviving that people get away with excluding us because we don't have the courage to push and push our way through the system.
But
Yeah.
I believe the system has the information and you should not have to really, really push so hard. But this is Kenya. Sadly, everything has to be fought for, especially for if you need anything different or if you're not according to the typical space. And I would like to say salute to your mom because it seems like she has walked with you through and through from the foundation to actually even now when you're doing your KCPE and she's like, no, she has to get this and she has to get this. So that's what actually I believe parenting is about, right? We have to be there, support and believe. And I'm sure if she had not like instilled in you like the what you told us earlier that you can do anything, be anything, and no, if not you, then So, and all this, I'm sure, like now when you're an adult and when you went through high school, because I can imagine teenage life, being a teenager and what teenagers always do, expect and feel and whatnot. So how did you survive that? Being in that space, because everyone is like, oh, we're going out, we're doing this, there are changes going on in everyone. And I usually try and imagine like, how was that space for you? We've heard of the early years, now this we're talking about now teenage life. How hard was that? Because I can't begin to imagine. So you just paint for us a picture briefly.
I remember in class, was it class 7 or class 8 when everyone had a crush on someone? And then I remember I also had a crush. And I didn't fear talking. I didn't fear telling everyone. It's my crush also. But of course, it treated me and laughed at me, and it never got that serious for me. So of course, you, I feel I was growing up just like any other teenager. I was being mischievous. I wanted to be cheeky. I wanted to watch the beat on TV or listen to Chris FM and I just wanted to be a teenager, but sometimes I've realized that you have a different ability. Yeah, you have a bubble around you, so you don't get away with doing some of the things. Because I remember, like, even going out with parents, I was very weak sometimes, so I would only go out with my mom. Remember, you know, the only time I would go out with my friends was after school, and we are walking home, and we go either buy sausages and smokies, and then walk home. So I feel I was so protected in a way, which is a good thing and not such a good thing. From my parents' perspective, they were protecting me from the harm in the world and from being abused. But also, from my perspective, I feel they were they were protecting me from experiencing that. So I feel that there was a tangle there because until when I was in college, I did I hear other people my age saying what they did when they were in high school or when they were in teenage. Or I'm like, because I never got to experience most of those things. So I feel there are two bubbles. There's the parents' bubble, and also I feel the society has a bubble because I feel they don't, they assume that we don't have the same emotions or preferences, and we do, you know, but they didn't understand that unless they include that, unfortunately.
Okay, wow. So did you ever get, let me ask this silly question. Did you ever get like to go out and experience, you know, the way guys go out like for parties and stuff like that? When you're saying your parents shielded you, did they shield you to that level of no, you can't go and stuff like that? Or is it like, oh, you have to go with your sibling? And, you know, because I know I've done that for my sons. Those ones of like, how is he going to go alone? Oh my God, is he going to be okay? So you always make sure the big brother is there. So was that, are we doing the right thing when we do that, or you didn't get to experience that?
I think you're doing the right thing to some extent. The extent of until they're confident enough to be on their own. And I remember when I was in high school, because my, my high school was in town by then, and we lived in between. So my mom used to pick me and drop me every day. And so one day I was like, oh, mom, teacher, can I just come with my cousin? And in the sweetest voice ever, and can you please come and I want to say? And she looks at me and I think she knew. She just said, okay, but don't tell your father. You know? So that day, I got out of school. I made my way to the bus stop, and then I took her mother. And she was laughing the other day. She said that day, after lunchtime, she did not function again because she was so worried. Will she come? Will she be okay? Will she make it? Uh, but I think that letting me go has allowed me to become so confident in yourself. And that letting go is rare and it's hard because you're letting us go into the big bad world, you know. But I feel that is so important for us, even for who we become in the future. And you don't know when the right time is. Even now, there are still places I want to go, and she's like, no, you can go alone. You have to go. Either I take you or someone else takes you. So I feel letting go is a process. It's not one event occurrence like for other children. For us is letting go like at times a lot of people knew me in the marketers in Kikuyu. So she was safe with me in attachment. And then slowly she became more comfortable with me in many other places.
Wow, I'm just trying to think. I think I'm sure she just sat and she did nothing. Like she said, dysfunctional, just waiting. Like, is she going to get home? Is something going to? At least there were no cell phones at that time because I'm sure she'd have called you like 20,000 times to just make sure. Did you make it every 30 seconds? Did you make it to here? Did you? Did anyone? You know, because that's just who we are as parents. Always just too cautious and scared.
So she was so happy. She was like, wow, she came.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's it. I never do that again.
So did you get so? And the second time, was it easier?
Yes, the second time it was easier, and then now people start knowing you and
Mm-hmm.
start supporting you,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel now that you're out in the world, then people understand how to work with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I remember even the messages me at 4 p.m. Maria will be in the state. So, so they expect me. So I also feel she if she allowed other to come, yeah, that's the biggest gift they need. Because I wasn't going to be her handbag for a long time.
Okay, I'm seeing the guys who are following us also on social media. They have just requested if you could be a bit louder because they can't quite hear you well, right? But yeah, they're saying great conversation there. Now tell me, now how was university? Was it easy? First of all, you did KCPE. Were you called to high school? Did you have to still hustle to find a high school? After high school, you did your form 4. How was KCSE? And were you forced to again hustle to get into, like, did you still have to fight your way? Um, how do I put it? Did you have to fight your way now to actually get administered into a university? And even university, was it conducive? Did you do the course that you wanted? Were they accommodative? Because these are some of the fears and like unknown grounds that we feel is out there. How was it, Maria?
So after KCP, it took a blow on me, and I wanted to join contrast. There was this school, I don't even remember the name, but but it took a blow on me, so my parents decided to change me into the American system, which is a bit easier to continue with the Kenyan system. So I went to KCCA, and KCCA those days it was heaven. Ah, and going somewhere where people understand you and people actually get you and they feel you and they tell you because you write slow, you can use a laptop. Let's look at what you're good at, not what you can't do. So, KCCA was just a very good place for me, even to recover from the education system, and it was so much accommodating in many ways. So I did KCCA for 4 years, and funny thing, leading up into how I got into advocacy. When I went to KCCA, I was shy and I was super broken and I was down and then the teachers noticed that.
Why
And
were you broken and down and low at the point of entry?
yes, yeah.
What was causing that state for you?
I, I think it was just what happened in primary school and and just went through class 8, class 7, and here I feel, I feel when you don't understand yourself and then other people make it harder for you, you just beat up yourself. So I remember I kept on saying, I don't want to have cerebral palsy. I don't want to have cerebral palsy. But yeah, I think all those experiences, they really,
We lost you for a second, Maria. We lost you for a second. Please just repeat that.
the experiences in primary school, when they all come together, and Sylvia, it's more like a joke, but people don't understand, like, even the small things, like being scared, people talking about you when you're there, or people not accommodating you, impacts you in so many ways.
That's true. That's indeed true. Yeah, yeah. Because people assume you're not feeling, you're not understanding. Like they forget you also have emotions. You feel, and you're human at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. So I feel those there were many experiences together and they all made an impact in my life. And I couldn't see myself going back into the Kenyan system.
So are we saying the system matters? Because the Kenyan system was like it made you, by the time you started, your mom had done this foundation. This is a strong girl. You are okay playing and everything. Then you get into this education system, and all it's doing is beating you down and reminding you of what you cannot do. Then you go into this GCE system, into a private school, special school, where it's all different. You have people who are like you, people who understand you, embrace you, and equip you to better yourself in what you're good at, right? So that's
Yeah.
the giant difference in our education system. So I think the Kenyan system and teachers and society needs to learn from that we need to be more focused on equity in terms of, this is what I need, so equip me to have exactly what I need so I can thrive in my space, right? And so the inspiration right now, okay, I'm sure at KCCL you did KCA, then that means your KCSE was easier, because now if they were more accommodative, I believe they'd already set it out in a way that everyone is working according to their speed, according to their ability, right? Because that way, then that means you are able to perform at optimum when they're giving everything that you need. So currently, right now, then you went to university. What happened in university? Where did Maria Foundation come from? Like, what was the big inspiration? And was university also another challenge, like you see, because we are seeing the progression of the experience. So I'm like, okay, so how is university going to be? Let us know.
Yeah, so university was also a crazy experience. When I wanted to join, I think all the universities in Kenya had a discussion, and they said they had never accommodated someone like me. Most of them gave me that reply that they have never had someone with cerebral palsy in their school, and they don't know how to go about. I like, they used to say they don't know how to deal with it. And I was like, what do you mean to deal with it? But also, let me just mention a thing. A lot of the public universities are overwhelmed. So they have big numbers of students and big classes. So for someone with a neurodiverse condition, we just disappear in the cracks because we work better in smaller spaces with one-on-one interaction with the lecturer, with the teacher, with attention in learning and in the socialization. So going into the public university was not even an option to consider for me. So the other option was private university, and they have smaller numbers and smaller classes and more one-on-one interaction. But they all said, we don't know how to deal with it. And it's interesting, Sylvia, because I only had a few requirements. I was only requesting to use my laptop in class and in exams. And also I was requesting for extra time with the teachers and with submitting assignments and all of that. And it was impossible for them. But luckily, I landed into African Nazarene University, who were willing to accommodate me and have me but still, it was. I'll give you a good example.
Mm-hmm.
For them, it was like walking on a field full of bombs. Like, we didn't know, where to go, or where to step, or how to do things. I intuition is finding the ways. Like there's no manual in accommodating me. There is no manual in accommodating any part of your different ability. You just need to learn as you go on and learn as the individual is. So if we expect to understand how to do everything from the onset, we can never include as we should. So I believe including, even in Nazarene, it was a process. Some days you'll forget my laptop when you're doing days they remember the laptop and then you can type. Other days I'll get handled. Other days the lecturer will forget. So there are so many dynamics of inclusion, but you only have to get into the journey so as to know how to include everything.
Oh, wow. So everyone is, it was like you are the guinea pig for institutions.
I remember I'm crying so many times to my auntie. I do not want to be like guinea pig. And she told me, no, you be a guinea pig. So, because I believe, and that's how I got into advocacy. Um, it, I realized, okay, maybe a guinea pig is actually good because the others who will come after me will have it easy than I had it. They'll have it better. The system will already be a little bit more inclusive or more aware. So being a guinea pig actually became a good thing.
What I appreciate is the fact that at least when you join, then they have to make changes, right? And what you've practically done is like clear the pathway so that now whoever else comes after you, it's not going to be another struggle. Maybe it's a different disability and stuff like that. And you know, people are used to like, okay, yes, if it's the blind, okay, we just need the braille and they have their own special schools. And that's what we're always advocating for. We're like, if you think of us first and you put things in place and you're ready, then that means it's just plug and play because everyone else around can actually live within the accommodations you make for a special and a neurodiverse person. And that's what they don't get. Isn't that it, right?
Wow, I hadn't even thought about it like that. Adults actually can live with their accommodations.
Exactly, because we are like our children and yourselves are like the ultimate. So if you work with being the best, that means anyone else will fit in and plug in. So about the foundation, so tell us a bit about the foundation as we wrap up.
Oh my baby! It's a dream. It's a big dream. for me, I felt I had one mission. Um, I felt my life was hard. My life wasn't a piece of cake, and I didn't want any other child to have it as hard as I had it. Um, is through awareness. If we had awareness, we'd have inclusion. If we had an intervention available, accessible for everyone, then the child is given like, better chances at life, without intervention. If we had the right support systems, and right now, for children with other different abilities, it's you yourselves against the world. It shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't be alone in this journey. You should be surrounded by people, family, community. So with these three core things, I push the foundation, and I provide families who don't have access to the information, the knowledge, the services, and just try and simplify their lives and make their lives better. We work in Kikuri Tower, and we work with special units in public schools, and we try and advocate for community-based rehabilitation. So we want to see a transition, a continuation in the lives of the children we work with. So whether it's therapy and then therapy off to school and off to school, where next? Okay. So and so yeah, that's a foundation. We are still very new, we are 2 years in. Um, but um, I believe in dignity through inclusion. So for every child we include, we give them back their human dignity. And that's very important for me.
And I saw you also offer therapy. How do you work around that? Like how do people reach you? Where you're located? You know?
Yeah, okay, but we are located in Kikuyu town. We offer therapy through a partnership with SEP Kenya, SEP, and the, all our services are based in Kenya. But for anyone trying to contact us, you can contact us on our website, Njeri Maria Foundation .co.ke. You can contact us on our social media pages, Njeri Maria Foundation. Um, Call us, our numbers are on our pages. So if you need information or advice or support or just as someone to hold their hand as you walk through the journey, or just a good laugh, sometimes you can always reach out to us.
Wow, that's awesome. I like the way you said, "Oh, my baby," when I said your foundation. Ah, that's awesome. The way, that shows passion, genuinity, the way you've embraced it and you're going on with it. And kudos for that, because at least you understand, the importance of therapy because you have actually gone through it. The other thing, what course did you actually do in campus?
Oh, I did community development.
Community. So you're actually in line with what exactly you did. Did you have a hard time trying to choose the course you want to take? Considering now everyone was like, oh my God, it's like, okay, we are handling an egg over here, like you said, walking on bombshells. So how was it trying to decide exactly what you want to do?
I wanted to do journalism. No, I think I wanted to do law at first. I was like, the system is so unfair. And so I wanted to do law until I saw how big the books are. And also, another thing, funny story is we went to a school of law, and one of the people there told me, how will you do law with how you speak? And I was like, what do you mean? He told me, yeah, because lawyers talk all the time. And you know what I told him? I told him, only then some talk. They want you to do the most work, sit behind those who don't. And I remember even in choosing what I wanted to do, there were always people saying, because you talk like that, and you look like that, you cannot do this, And so I did that, but I didn't change because of him. I changed because I saw the size of the book, and so I thought, okay, why not try journalism? So I was going for journalism. And then when I got to journalism, I thought, but I like working with people more than cameras and all that. So I thought, okay, let's do community development. But in all this, I was looking for a voice everywhere. I was looking for, or I had that voice. I was just looking for somewhere I can speak it out. And so if we notice throughout journalism, they're all very loud careers. So yeah, that's how I got into advocacy and just making a lot of necessary noise.
I like that statement, making necessary noise, because actually it is necessary noise. And I like the way you're very vocal on Twitter. And, when people look at you like, what can you tell us, because when you speak and they're like, if you are, there is that level of belittlement, like, oh yeah, let's hear what they have to say. And normally if you see how you stand and speak and the facts that you put out there is quite encouraging, you're like, yo, go girl, so we're right behind you as you continue with that. Now I want to ask you a very sensitive personal question. So have you dated, and if you have, yes, how was the experience? Do you feel like there is limitations in how guys look at relationships in terms of when you want to date? I hope I was not so brutal. I've tried to sugarcoat it as much as possible, but you get my point. Like, how is it? Because I remember you said when during the teenage you wanted to do what everyone else is doing and go out and stuff like that. But now you're an adult. Now you've paved your way. You've proven yourself, for lack of a better word. But you have done so much. Does this make it easier for you, or is it still a challenge? And yeah, just let us in a teeny bit on that personal side of it.
Wow. That's,
yeah, yes.
yeah, but yeah, I do that. I've had a couple of relationships and there. But it's also uh, uh, it's also not so inclusive in the sense about like we still have so many cultural mentalities and attitudes, so it gets hard. Like I'll give a good example. You might be seeing and then I was seeing a guy and then when it comes to introducing me to his friends, it gets tough. Introducing me to his family, it gets tough. You know? So that ends just like that. We don't even talk about it again. So I feel we still live in a society where we are not so open to the idea of dating people with different abilities, and we are not so comfortable. But and I know he's up there somewhere. He has to be crazy enough to to be able to not listen to the world and to be crazy enough to fight for me for who I am with cerebral palsy. So yeah, for now I haven't found it. For now, every time they see me walk or they see me talk, they run away, you know? But they feel ashamed and they wonder how we will go about it. If it gets too serious, how will they introduce me to their family? So there are all those factors to consider. But there
But
is there is hope.
there is
So
hope. So let me ask you, like, when someone, of course, when someone is coming to hit on you, they know who you are, what you do, the challenges. Do you have that introductory conversation? Because okay, in women empowerment, we usually say like, know what you want, ask nana, like ask those tough questions and stuff like that. Have you ever tried to like have that conversation with someone before, where at that early point, just to avoid, because I think sometimes conversation is what clears. So like, this is what it is, this is how it's going to be, there is nothing that's going to change. And how if you've had that conversation, did they change their minds? Or because I know you're a strong woman, and I know not everyone appreciates that sometime when you're vocal and all out there. So have you ever had that kind of a conversation when you're just about to or in a relationship?
yeah, of course you have to debrief them. So you tell them this is how it is. When you go out, people might stare at us, you know. But even when you debrief them, Sylvia, they're the strong ones who can actually go through the journey with you. There are those ones who don't even notice people staring, or don't even notice that you need more help, or they're the ones who just take it as they are. So communication does play a big role, but it all comes down to what do you say? Action from the other person, um, because you can tell them all these things, but still, when you go out, you feel they are ashamed of being seen with you. Yeah? They don't want to be seen with you, or they don't want to be associated. And feelings, feelings don't lie. Yeah, feelings don't lie. So he can tell you, "Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm okay with you, I'm okay with how you are." But then you go out and something happens, or I spill my drinks every time. So if we go to I spill my drink, and then you see instead of laughing it off, he's looking more ashamed, then you see there's no fun.
I know, I know. I can imagine, because sometimes when you're having the conversation, it looks all nice, easy. Then when the actual reality comes, it's a different ballgame altogether. And right now, mom, I'm sure mom is still walking this journey with you, with the far she has come. How does she feel about, like, one day she's going to, if she's there, she can even answer for me that question. How does she feel like one day my little girl, not so little girl anymore, will have to leave me and go, move on with life? Have you had that conversation? I really wanted to ask you a very sensitive one. Then I decided, that one we have on the side. I know you know what I'm talking about, but tell me, how does she feel? Do you feel like she's ready? Because now you see, you're like, yeah, you have your thing going, you've finished. If I look at the whole space, the space, and I'm like, I'm really truly proud of you, because you have broken a lot of the glass ceilings that are put on disability, and more so a woman with disability. So so now we are coming to this other side, that because I know there are parents who reach out like, I'm so worried, will my son, my daughter ever get to experience a relationship, have their own families, because that is what we all wish for. So is mom ready for this, or have you had that conversation?
The funny thing, we had the conversation a while back, and I was getting a bit scared because all of my friends get married and they're all having children. And I just said to Mom, do you ever worry? And she was like, no, I'm just expecting a grandchild. And I was like, oh, really? No? But I don't think either me or mom is ready um, for either me moving out or me getting a family of my own. I don't think we can be ever ready for such a thing, but we know it is possible and it can happen. And I think we, we will deal with it when it happens, but what really gets to me is I've been so close to my mom, so I can't imagine an aspect of my life where we are not that close anymore. But as you said, only the dynamics change. But yeah, I think in her mind she knows, and in her mind she expects. So it's possible. Um, how ready we are, we don't know. But funny thing, Sylvia,
Uh,
is uh, I was having a conversation with a group of people,
mhm,
and they were all discussing relationships and all that.
mhm,
And funny thing is, no one asked me. But that conversation went on for a while, but no one stopped and asked me. So I feel we still assume that part of our person with a different ability,
mhm,
and we need to stop assuming it for them.
mm. Do you feel like now in that such scenario in social gatherings and social setting, um, how many, like in a percentile out of 100, how many times are you included in speaking your mind and your opinion? Do you find like the way you just said the conversation went on and you were not asked, how often does that happen?
Many times,
Mm.
many times. But now I'm a bit headstrong, so I don't pick up. But many times people forget to include me, and then they're like, "Oh, Maria was here," and I'm like, "I've been here the whole time." But
Wow.
I
Okay.
I feel people do that a lot of that, especially if the issues they don't think you understand.
I can imagine. Wow. Okay. So now that means our awareness, advocacy for inclusion, we need to up that. We really, really need to up that. But you know, the concern I have is we have very little youth and young adults who come out, you know, like how many do we know who actually stand? Like you're very vocal. I know Kamunyo is, I don't know, I can see, I think, I don't know if he's still there or we lost him, and you guys are out there speaking your mind, saying what it is, and sharing your experience. Do you feel like many are not doing this, and could you tell like why? Is it because they're being protected by the parents, or is it the way, like you said, by the time you are doing class 8, we don't normally have so many going into high school and the opportunities keep dwindling over time, so you just end up just sitting home? What how would you say, because you are in that, and I'm sure you have friends also who are in that space, how would you put it, like what exactly is the challenge that we are not seeing a lot of youths coming to stand out and help in this championing for inclusion in this space?
Well, I feel there is no safe space for them. Um, it's it's there is no platform of now, but although we also say we create our own platforms, but also we need the safe space and to just be who you are. And I feel whichever space there is now, don't take it for who you are. They want um, a perfected image of a person. So, safe space, also the bubble. Parents need to burst their bubble. So many young people, even my friends, want to come out, but their parents are afraid on their behalf. So parents need to burst that bubble.
So it circumnavigates back to us as parents and as society. So for society to accept you, and for us parents to be bold enough to let you go and let you go out to the world and experience instead of sheltering you. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope all our parents are hearing and listening. Stop babying our babies. Okay, you will forever be our babies. That never changes. But yes, we need to let loose and let you go and let you discover and find your voice. And that way, I think we'll be able to combine everything and come out stronger. Because self-advocacy is actually very, very strong. As much as it's challenging, like if we're talking, because we're discussing about CP, very few persons with cerebral palsy have a voice in terms of the different types of cerebral palsy, the ones that affect audibility and speaking ability is very few, because that has to be the mild CP. So now you're the spokesperson, you are the one representing all this. Does it feel like it's a lot of pressure for you sometimes?
Yeah, it does. And you also feel the desperation of when things ever change. Things have been the same way for the longest time. Why don't they see us? Why don't they feel us? Why don't they understand us? It gets overwhelming and very tough. But another thing is like I picture myself carrying a light. So I'm carrying this light and I'm showing the way. To where I don't know. Um, all I know is I need to do it as best as I can, because at some point I'll turn and give the lead to someone else to lead the others. So in advocacy or in representing people with cerebral palsy, I see myself as a lead for a moment. And I have to shine so bright, and thinking about it like that, it's not even overwhelming. Again, it's more motivating to think I'm only here for this time. I'm only carrying this light for this time. And I need to ensure that it's as bright as ever for other people to shine. So that's my perception of representing CP. I hope when I'm gone, and my time in advocacy is up, then people will be able to see the journey that Maria walks and the journey Maria simplified for others, and they'll be inspired to do that for others.
I couldn't have put it any way better. And to just echo what you've said, there is this, my co-stars from Mandela that says, Nelson Mandela once said that when you allow your light to shine, you subconsciously allow others to shine too, and you light their way. And I believe that is exactly what you're doing. So keep shining, keep soaring, keep breaking those glasses. Whatever you want to achieve, you can achieve it. So keep going forward. I know when I look at it and I look at people like Ashura, and I'm like, that's how we're supposed to do it, go forth and conquer. And you are an inspiration to many. You might not know. And for us as parents also, we feel encouraged that the more we keep at it, at least we're going to get somewhere. So I really appreciate. I remember the first time I saw your interview on BBC, I was like, I want her to be my friend. Little did I know, on the other side, you are looking for me. And the day that we met, it was like, oh my God, she's here. And it was quite a magnificent moment. And keep on keeping. I know the pressure sometimes feels like it's too much, but don't give up. Don't stop for no reason, you know. And we are right behind you as the Disability Society. We will champion whatever it is that you want us to support you with, and we will do that. I know today we have taken longer than our usual, and but it was worth the while. I know we have learned so much. I don't know if there are any questions, because I haven't seen any hands being raised. Is there anyone with a question? Kindly raise your hand or drop a chat, so that way we will be able to at least address. You've been told, keep it up. You said this was motivational and it was a very powerful conversation. So kudos to you, Maria. Any question from the audience? In 3, 2, any hands raised? I'm not seeing any. So I believe we've covered it well. And thank you, Njeri, for actually making the time. I know you're busy and you're trying to continue learning in school, so yay, keep at it. So until next weekend, we are skipping. We like we said, we're doing alternate weekends these days. Saturdays on the Special Needs Hangout. I've been your host, Sylvia, Moraa, Mochabo. We're always here having discussions that are to empower, encourage, train, motivate, and build the neurodevelopmental disability space. In the next 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, we shall be discussing Down syndrome, because this month was Down syndrome awareness month, and that we will be having one of the caregivers share with us how it is. Then the week after that, we shall be hosting Kamunyo, who will also share his story. He also has CP, and he's, at least Maria has been in that space. Kamunyo inspires us in terms of breaking glass ceilings the same way. We'll hear the male side of the story and the fact that he is on a wheelchair and the challenges that come with that, and to get to the position that he's at in the corporate world. So there is a lot of inspiring stories that we need to hear, so that we know it's not impossible. So, and also remember to follow us on our social media handles on Twitter. Plug into our discussions that we're always having on advocacy. That is Andy Speaks, then number 4. On IG, it is Andy Speaks. For me, it is Moraa Sylvia on Twitter and Sylvia Mochabo on IG. And join our Facebook group also, which is Andy Speaks for Special Needs Persons, in brackets SNP, where we also post opportunities, communications, and all the NEURODIGEST that we have. You get it firsthand there. And till next week, thank you very, very much, Maria. And someone has said, let me just read out the last 2. Maria, you have inspired and touched me. May God bless you so much. And P says, thank you, Njeri, very inspirational. Thank you, Sylvia, for hosting her, encouraging for our children. So let's keep talking, let's keep encouraging, and let's keep inspiring and soaring. I enjoy the weekend, and pass out our greetings to your siblings and to your loved ones and to our precious neurodiverse community. Until next time, it's adios from here. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone.